Today's video is about energy vampires. An energy vampire is somebody who will steal your energy to help fill them up. So, like I mentioned in a previous video, we all have auras, which is basically an energy field that surrounds us. Some people might have a really big one, while other people have a lower one because they're vibrating on a lower frequency. Most people get their energy from source energy, which is the universe, nature, everything that surrounds us, plants, being outside. But some people kind of lose the ability to be able to connect to source energy and be refilled by that. So what they do is they resort to these control dramas. I'm going to call it control drama. It's a word I got from the book The Celestine Prophecy. If you've never read that book, it's really good, mind-opening. It kind of was one of the first books that I read while I was on my journey of religion, spirituality, and vibrations and energy. So they call it a control drama in that book. I actually wrote down the few control dramas so that I would remember what they were. But so what an energy vampire does is it will suck your energy out to make themselves feel better. And there's certain control dramas that people will fall into, and we will all fall into all four of these, but most of us will have one particular one that is our main control drama. Some people know that they are energy vampires. A few people know. Then they are aware that they are stealing your energy from you for themselves. But majority of people in the world don't know that they're energy vampires. You could even be an energy vampire at times without even knowing it. So I've been around this situation, and I'm sure most of you have, because there are a lot of these energy vampires out there where you're around a certain person who just makes you feel uncomfortable. You're not yourself. You don't feel right around them. They even may just drain you and make you feel like exhausted. That is an intense energy vampire. Or maybe it's even that you are that person's opposite, and it's really easy for them to take energy from you specifically. So let's get into the control dramas. We have aloof, and they kind of, there's four of them, but two of them go together, and the other two go together. So there's the aloof, and this is me. This is what I do. For example, if I'm in a situation, maybe out in public, and I feel like I don't like the person that's near me, or that maybe they're asking me questions. A great example is because I go to concerts a lot. Maybe if somebody comes up to me, a male, and I feel some creepy sexual energy, instead of just being like nice and upfront and just like dealing with the situation, I might get aloof. And instead of like talking to them, I'll just be like, yeah, whatever, okay. Even when I'm fighting like with my friends or with my boyfriend, I might do this where I'm just angry and don't really feel like talking. So instead of answering, I'll give you really short answers that don't really give you much, and it's gonna keep you asking questions. So I'm stealing your energy by being aloof and not giving you the answers that you're looking for. On the other hand, so one of these people could be getting the energy taken from them. One of these people could be taking the energy. But either way, these are the control dramas. So there's the aloof, and then there's the instigator. And the instigator is the one who's asking the aloof person the questions. So why are you doing that? Like, say somebody went vegan, or somebody wants to hang out with a certain group of people, and then there's somebody who's instigating them on everything, almost trying to poke holes in their theory and poke holes in their mindset by asking them these questions. It's not out of curiosity. It's a control drama. It is them trying to take energy from you. It's like, why are you doing this? Why are you going there? What do you think that's really going to help? Things like that. And a lot of times the opposite of that will be the aloof person. You're getting asked questions like that. You might just be like, I don't know, yeah, whatever, like, get over it. It really reminds me a lot too of like parents and kids, or maybe like teachers and students, something like that, where they get the teachers trying to get energy by asking these questions, trying to get to the bottom of it, poke a hole in the kid's like what the kid did, and the kid's just like, psh, I'm too good for this, I'm not going to give you anything, and by not giving you anything, you're just going to keep feeding me with these questions. So depending on who is stronger in the situation will be who the real energy vampire is, but the control dramas are always the same. But that's the aloof and the instigator. And a lot of times, the person who is aloof, or the person who is one, if that doesn't work, we'll switch to the other one. So say you're being aloof, you're being aloof, you're being aloof, and then it doesn't work and you're not getting the energy that you need, you might start becoming the instigator and start questioning and getting really in that person's face. Or the other way around. The next two actually is a much better example of switching from one to the other. So the next two are the poor me, which is somebody who's just always looking for sympathy and is always playing the victim. You're around a group of people and you're like, oh man, this happened to me, and my rent, and my this, and my that, and life is just so stressful, which it is, yeah, and you can always talk, you should always be able to talk to your friends about the stresses in life, but it's different when you're trying to get energy from them. You're trying to get sympathy from them to make yourself feel better. It's different than just talking about it and getting it off your chest and trying to work through your problems. So that's the poor me, or the victim control drama. The next person, the opposite of that, is the aggressor. The person who's not just going to be questioning you and your motives, but they're going to be like really angry and upset with you, like, why not? All right, why are you doing this, is a question, but like, you shouldn't be doing this, and how dare you, like, what's wrong with you? Even though that's a question, it's still like rhetorical, and you're just really trying to be rude. You're not like waiting for an answer, you're just trying to yell at somebody and be rude to them. Most of the time, the person that's yelling and being rude is going to be doing it to somebody who is the poor me mentality. Say somebody is an aggressor, right? And they like yelling at people. When they find somebody who is a poor me mentality, a poor me control drama, that's the person that's going to give them the most energy, because those are the two control dramas that are opposite. So they can be hanging around with a bunch of instigators. You're an aggressor and you're hanging out with a bunch of instigators, and you don't really put on this whole energy vampire role until you get around somebody who is super susceptible to your pull. So you get around somebody who's a poor me, and all of a sudden you become really angry and you start yelling at them. And I've seen these situations with like groups of friends of ours, and that's kind of like where I'm getting this. So then there's the poor me person could be sitting there, poor me, poor me, poor me, and eventually people are just not listening to you because you're crying wolf. They're not giving you the sympathy that you're looking for because you've been stealing it from them daily, like keep trying to get the same sympathy. So eventually, that poor me person might get really angry and start yelling at you like they're the aggressor, because those are the two that coincide. Just because they're opposites, actually, it means they're like one and the same, you know? So I'm a poor me. Or no, I'm me, Corinne, personally. I'm an aloof, but every so often I can become the instigator, because those are my two main control dramas. However, I can be all of them. Everybody can be all of them, but most of us have one specific one that we get really attached to based on our parents, our siblings, our friends, our childhood growing up. If you raise your kid amazingly, and I'm not trying to like judge any parents, because obviously it's not, I'm talking about like in a utopian kind of ideal sense. It's possible to raise a child without a control drama. But for the most part, we are all going to have control dramas from our childhood, whether it's your parents or your other outside influences. So how to deal? So how to deal with these control dramas? One, the first step is just being aware. So if you notice that there's a certain person that kind of steals your energy every time you're around them, that's step one of being aware. You are aware that that's what's going on. You don't like that person, you don't like being around that person, but being aware that they're stealing your energy and that's why you don't like them, that's step one. And then you have to analyze it a little bit further and see exactly what they're doing and how they are going about stealing your energy. Because when you're aware of it, like so why do you think that? Why are you doing that? You know that by being aloof to their instigator questions, it's going to just play into that control drama and not going to help you. So you be as calm and, you know, respectful. You answer their questions, even though their questions aren't really, like I said before, for the sake of curiosity. They're more for poking at you to try to find holes in your theory or whatever it may be. So answer their questions politely, almost as if it's a little kid that's just like, why? It might be really annoying, but to just sit and actually answer their question without putting your own control drama into it will help them just stop trying to take it from you. Help them. They don't realize that they're doing it. What would be best is try to help everybody connect to source energy. So that's the next thing that you can do. If you know somebody is stealing your energy from you, you know somebody's trying to do that, meditating in your own time helps you control yourself and your ability to connect to everything around you. So if you notice somebody's doing that and they need extra energy, connect to source and fill yourself up with source energy so that even if they do take some from you, they're not taking it from you, they're taking it from source. In general, all throughout your life, you should learn how to connect to source energy and always be a part of it. So that's just practice, really. Meditation, and specifically breathing meditations, because breathing is the only thing that you do consciously and subconsciously. So by bringing an awareness to this subconscious system that you have, it helps you bring consciousness to other subconscious systems that you have going on inside of you. So practice meditation, practice being aware of other people and how they're being an energy vampire. Just get more associated with the control dramas and the way that people are, and try to just, I said this before, I like to picture myself viewing the situation. So say there's two people doing this little control drama. If you are in the situation, it's much more difficult to like see what's going on and to read it, because you have your own emotional self involved with it. But if you try to just take a breath, take yourself out of the situation and view yourself and that person going at it or whatever it is as an audience, it helps you see what's going on more without you being involved and you having all that emotional like attachment to it. And by seeing it from an outside perspective, it helps you get a better idea of how to handle it and what to say to try to stop it from happening. Well, food for thought. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know, have you read The Celestine Prophecy? Do you know about these control dramas? And if you don't know, haven't heard about them before, do they resonate with you? Do you feel like you are one of these aloof instigator, poor me, or the aggressor? Let me know if you've had experience with energy vampires. Anything you want to know. Comments, questions, subscribe, like, share. Love you, and thanks for watching.